Hey guys, I'm working on this collection of envelope inserts for junk journals because I have a massive amount of vintage envelopes to use up. This particular project is to have an envelope that will open like a flap in a book. So let's just pick a page here, although these have a lot in them already. The way that this would work is it would be glued in here and would open like this. So you could have a surprise underneath it and then also open it and have something inside. So it could add a lot to the decoration and to the surprises, which I love all the little tucks and surprises that you can put into junk journals. That's my favorite part. So I'm going to show you how I did this and make a few more. This one I used some stitching, but it's not necessary to hold it together. It's just, I like the way it looks. I have some envelopes here. I think I'd like to do a couple. I need to make sure that it has a flap style opening, so this one does. I think the rest of these are slit open. Oh, this one's an interesting. Oh, it opens up. I keep finding new surprises. These are all from an antique store, and that I got a package for $6. Actually, I bought a couple of them, and there's so many neat little things that I've found in these vintage papers. I think here's another one that has a flap, a little bit rougher shape. I have some of these larger envelopes, so we could kind of see how those look if I can find one with. That one has a flap. I guess I could kind of do this like a mass make, if I can find enough of them to make it worthwhile. Well, that one's pretty. This one kind of is, but it's tucked. That would be an interesting one. I think I might actually, I'm going to use these ones that are a little tore up, because the fun part of doing this style of a insert is that where there's rips, it kind of highlights them by putting this other pattern. So in doing this one, we have this section would be glued down, so you'd have this little window of seeing the paper underneath, which is so fun. So we'll start off with those. They're all a little different, which means it could be a bit of a project. So that one might be a little too tore up, although I could glue that part together. Okay, I'm going to do that. This one's a little tore up. I guess I'll do those. I'll set these aside. I'm going to keep my example nearby so I don't forget what I did before. We need to cut some double-sided paper to fit into each of these. They need to be big enough to do the flap also. So when we're figuring out what paper will work, it doesn't need to go all the way down, but it needs to go past this flap here. I have this that I started to use for something else. I want it to go this direction so when it pops up you can see a lot. If I do it this way, it's not as interesting. So I'm going to use it for one of the narrower ones. I'm still half awake, so my voice sounds a little funny. All right, so I'm going to, actually, if I cut it right on this, that should give us enough. Okay. Now you certainly could use a paper cutter for this. I usually, with these, because you're cutting it down to fit so much, I end up doing it by hand most of the time. I sound like I've been smoking for 20 years this morning. I'm very grumbly. My animals always wake me up way too early because they think I should be going to work every day and feeding them early in the morning every day. So they're not willing to negotiate, even if it's a weekend. So close. I'm going to take just a smidge off. Beautiful. So I want to keep it all the way up to the edge of the flap on the envelope. And when I cut it, I'm going to be cutting the shape as if the flap on the envelope was still all one piece. So then this will be what peeks through. What I'm going to do though is glue it down first because then it won't slip on me. And I'm also going to glue this down so it stays solid. Where's my glue? There we go. Okay, since this one's I don't know if you can hear in the background, but my dog is chasing my cat. They love to play with each other because they're both still pretty young. The cat is 2 and the dog is 1, so they have young animal energy. And this is early, so they just woke up and started their day. And I do have to be really quick with this because this glue does dry pretty quickly. And I say that and now I can't get it in there. It helps that this one's a little bit busted. I'm gonna make sure I got enough glue on this top flap before I go cutting things down. Okay, I'm gonna leave that wrinkle there because it's naturally occurring and I like it. But I want to cut the shape of the other side as if it's still down. So on this side it's going to be easy because I can just follow the line. On the other side you're kind of just making it up because you're just trying to create a mirror image until it looks right, which that does not. There we go. That's not too bad. Okay, make sure that dries all the way before I fold it down. That's what it looks on the other side. And when we fold it to go with that crease that's already there, then you'll really be able to see the... Is that good? Yeah. Now if you have like, I don't even know what they're called. Oh, bone folder. If you have a bone folder, this would be your time to use it. We have our opening, have that overlap. See how nice that looks? I love exaggerating the problem areas, or, you know, where it's torn. And then this will naturally go back up again, and it shows a little bit underneath. Awesome. All right, we're gonna do a couple more here. This is the book I've been getting paper out of. I picked it up from a Joann's Fabric. I'm sure you can order it online if you like the way it looks. I want something that is going to show up colorful on both sides, which this book doesn't have a lot of papers like that. A lot of them are really dull on one side and really colorful on the other, which is good for having journaling space. So this one, let's see how it wouldn't be too bad with that color. It'd look really good with this one. I want to make sure I have enough. I don't need to go all the way down, but let's... This would probably be faster if I just measured it, but I don't know, one of these times I'll pull out the paper cutter. I've done older videos where I have the paper cutter out for the whole thing, but then I still feel obligated to show people how I do it without a paper cutter, because a lot of people don't have all of the random gadgets I do. Alright, so I want this side to be on the inside. Oh, that's so pretty. So then this will be what peeks through. That's actually super cute. I love it. Okay. Now I'm going to actually fold this backwards because last time the flap made it really difficult. And put some glue on here. I'm going to try to slide it in without the glue touching right away so it doesn't get stuck. Not too early. Because this is a lined paper, I'm very aware of if I put it in crooked. There we go. Now we're going to just cut off all of this excess, so don't worry about that part. And I'm going to glue this part down. Try to get as close to the edge as you can so it doesn't peel off. Okay, now we can cut along the edges here. Now here, this kind of has an interesting, like the paper started to come unfolded, which I didn't account for. I'm not sure how I want to deal with that. I think I'm just going to cut it straight or else it will look very silly. If I had thought about it before I glued it down, I could have like folded it over or something, but didn't notice. Maybe take a little bit more here. I can see where the cutting got a little bit wonky here. Okay, now I just gotta find that fold. I think we could do one going at a different angle here with this same paper, so I'm not wasting it. And I just put the envelope over a little bit. Beautiful. Now this will be similar, where we're going to glue it in, and then this will show through. Do I want that side out? I think I want that. Oh no, that'll get cut off. There is no perfect size to it, but it could be a good little extra to save. Otherwise, it's just going to be on the inside of the envelope. Okay. I'm going to test to make sure this fits. I forget to do that, and then, yeah, see, it wouldn't have fit in there. Okay. Need just a little bit off. There you go. Okay. Now we can put the glue on. I forgot to keep it tipped upside down. I'm moving too fast. And I put glue on the bottom half and then glue the flap separate because I don't want to accidentally put glue in the spot where there isn't envelope flap and then have that gunky glue show. Come on. Okay, you can do this, Mary. Come on. There we go. Make sure I don't go too. Oh, shoot, I did. There we go. See, I went too far over, but I'm going to cut that off anyway. Luckily, I didn't get it there. All right, now I'm going to glue the flap down. I do feel like I'm mumbling, mumble, which is part of the problem of doing these early in the morning, but I also have a lot more creative energy when I wake up really early. I'm definitely not a night creator. I'm maybe in my youth, but I have lost all of that nighttime oomph. I also have been trying to cut my coffee down to 1 cup of coffee a day, which is so difficult for me. I was probably up to like 4 cups a day, which is, I'm not as bad as my husband, but definitely not, wasn't doing me any favors. There. Oh, I just love how that looks. Such a simple thing. Not easy necessarily because it wants to fight you. And look at that scrap I can use for something else. That turned out really pretty. Alright, let's do one more. And then we'll call it good. Oh, here it is. We need a new sheet of paper. This one has a similar feel. As long as we use a colorful section of it. So if I want this part to go over a little bit. These are really vibrant papers. I kind of go back and forth between wanting to use really old vintage style papers and looking for color. Right now I'm just having a hard time finding double-sided paper unless I special order it from somewhere. I'm not sure why. It's so useful, but I guess scrapbookers are gluing it all down so they don't necessarily need what I need. I think I'm going to have the more rounded side up. I know, let's see. Oh, it's more colorful though. Okay, so we're going to do it this way. I'm going to fold this back because that makes it harder. And put some glue down. I suppose after doing 4, I don't need to like explain every little thing. But sometimes I forget to say what in the world I'm doing, and then what's the point of recording it, right? One of these days I want to go to an estate sale and look for old papers. I've never actually seen them, but I know that all these antique dealers are finding them, so they obviously sell them. Every time I've gone to an estate sale, it's been like all their worn out dishes and their old mattress. But it does surprise me, some of the stuff that I've picked up from antique dealers. They'll pull out all of the photos and sell those, but then just sell all these papers in a bundle, because what are they going to do with someone's discharge papers from the 60s or something? But they're perfect for the stuff I do. And then they look at me like I'm half crazy when I want them. That looks really pretty. I might cut a little more off the end here. I don't want a white line like that. There we go. All right, now we have our 4 envelopes. The hardest part is over. Well, I grabbed some materials that can be used for different types of hinges. So let me show you the options we